Corporate Governance Platform, a program from the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, is now at your doorstep.
By the way, what is corporate governance and what are its key pillars?
Will there be any conflict of interest if a person combines the roles of a chairman and a chief executive officer in a corporate organization?
What can Nigeria do to gain international recognition in the context of the application of corporate governance?
These and many more questions will be answered on
Corporate Governance Platform, a program designed to inform and educate our numerous viewers on the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities.
Join the Corporate Governance Platform crew every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. on MITV, your talent station, via DSTV 255 and UHF 43.
Corporate Governance Platform, your strategy for the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities. Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
Good evening and welcome to Corporate Governance Platform, proudly brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. I'm Tunde Odeyemi, and in today's episode we are taking a look at adherence to sustainability and implication for corporate success. I have with me right here in the studio my guest. He was the former Registrar and CEO of Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, Mr. DELE TOGUNDE, FCIS. Mr. DELE TOGUNDE cut his teeth at Central Bank of Nigeria, where he worked for many years and rose to the position of a manager. He later joined the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria and worked for 15 years, 13 out of which he served as Registrar and CEO, this making him the longest serving chief executive of the Institute till date. He retired in year 2015 and formed his own consulting outfit, DELE Consulting, a management consulting and corporate services outfit. As managing consultant till date, he is currently serving on the boards of some companies as a non-executive director, and Mr. Togunde is married with children. Mr. DELE Togunde, you are welcome to Corporate Governance Platform.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for finding time to join us on this program and to share your thoughts on sustainability for corporate success. I would like to start by asking, what is the term sustainability connotes?
Thank you very much. Somebody said, we live on this planet as if we have another one to go.
Okay.
And Peter Drucker said that the best way to predict the future is to create it. When you are talking of sustainability, we are talking of the ways in which we satisfy our needs without compromising the ability of the future generation in also creating their own needs or satisfying their own needs.
Wonderful.
When you say sustainability, we are saying that organizations should lend themselves to longevity. We don't have to plan an organization or a venture and think that it will end today. And the process of making it to go beyond the immediate is through the adherence to sustainability policies. And when you say sustainability, it stands on a tripod.
Okay.
Economic viability.
Okay.
Environmental protection.
Okay.
And social equity. Informally, at times, they refer to it as the 3 Ps: profit, planet, and the people.
Wonderful.
So the essence of sustainability is to make sure that you plan your things, you plan the policies and strategies of the organization to ensure that it outlives the owners and is invested with longevity.
Okay, why is this concept of sustainability, what is relevant to corporate governance?
It is assumed that any organization will evolve policies that will make it live almost forever. In doing that, there are some factors you have to consider. Environmental factors, economic factors, social factors, to the extent that the organization will live and live and live and live. It's a tenet of corporate governance. And any organization that didn't go with it has a tendency of being subjected to entropy.
Okay. So organizations are designed to live forever.
That should be you don't create an organization to last for 2 days, 1 month, 2 years. I mean, when it's invested with perpetuity. By the time you register the organization, it's invested with perpetuity. So you don't want, even as a person, you don't want to create a business that will die tomorrow.
That's true.
And in order to make sure that that business doesn't die tomorrow or anytime, sustainability policies has to be put in place to ensure longevity.
Okay, let's look at what the Code of Corporate Governance says. The code provides, the Code of Corporate Governance 2018, it provides that paying adequate attention to sustainability issues including environment, social, occupational and community health, and safety will project the company as a responsible corporate citizen, contributing to economic development. Can you shed more light on this statement to establish the validity of the statement?
The statement is very valid. And what the code is just trying to say is that as an organization,
Okay.
you have to imbibe the spirit of sustainability in order to make sure that the organization goes on and on. And you see, in corporate governance, corporate sustainability is very, very, very important and very relevant. Okay. In the sense that as an organization, you have to, there's something they call environmental social governance, which it contains the metrics of evaluating companies to ensure that they are actually buying into corporate sustainability policies. And any company that doesn't imbibe it or doesn't practice it, that company is surely going to be subjected to entropy.
Okay, let's look at it from this way. In what ways do conscious efforts by a company on sustainability contribute to economic development? You have talked about economic, you have talked about environmental and social. So how do companies consciously, imbibe sustainability to contribute to economic development?
You see, most companies and companies generally, the cost of managing crisis, reputation, is very, very high. It is better for them to be conscious of the need for sustainability than wasting resources, both financial and human, on managing the reputation of the company. Such resources should be diverted to the core business of the organization. Okay. So by being conscious of sustainability, they are encouraging better use of human resources, okay, and financial resources. Another reason or another way you can look at it is that, look, in terms of employment of talents, okay, sustainability consciousness will make such companies to go towards the idea of employing talents in the environment. Then being conscious puts such companies in competitive edge, which could increase their share of profits, the share of market, and recognition in the society.
And ultimately, this will increase, this will lead to economic development.
The economic development.
Okay.
At least innovations that will create products, efficient processing, and so on and so forth, which will make the economy benefit.
Okay, let's quickly look at other provisions from the code. The code requires that the board, that this board of directors, it requires them to establish policies and practices regarding its social, ethical, safety, working conditions, health, and environmental responsibilities, as well as corruption as part of its sustainability practices. Don't you think this may be too tasking against the objective of profit making of the organization?
Profit making, no, that would not happen. Profit making, most organizations have gone beyond emphasis on profit making. They have gone into the realm of creating value and human consideration.
Okay.
Being a good company.
But that does not say profit making is not relevant.
Wait, I'm coming. You see, profit making is relevant.
Okay.
But with sustainability.
Okay.
In the immediate, yes, it could be an investment, but it will give a long-term profit and benefit to the company. Like Peter Drucker also said that the first and the most important sin is to the idea of promoting high profit volume, high profit. That in organizations you need to consider the sustainability issues so that the company will live forever and be progressive.
Wonderful. Now, what should a company deliberately do to minimize the environmental impact of its operations?
Measurement. They have to measure their operations in line with what they do and in line with the economy and the environment. That's in that way. What we say they should do is that they consider environmental issues, social equity, and so on, to the extent that the organization will be relevant always and be able to add value to the society.
Okay, let's look at this from this angle. Does a company derive any benefits by ensuring the reduction or elimination of negative effects in its operation in an environment?
Yes,
does it derive any benefit?
A lot. And such things include tax incentive,
Okay.
cost reduction, waste reduction, elimination of environmental pollution, increase in share of market and profit, to the extent that all these things, even up to social impact in the society, those are the advantages of sustainability for companies, especially when they are looking for profit.
And I guess all these reductions will also eventually lead to high profit.
It's an economic activity.
Okay.
And it's an encouragement in a way to make sure that such companies comply with the needs of the code.
Okay, you mentioned the code. Let's talk about another aspect of the code. The code requires organizations not only to establish sustainability policies, but also to monitor the implementation of such policies and report on the extent of compliance with the policies. Now, what do you think is meant to be achieved by such monitoring procedure?
Sustainability is related to sustainability report. Every company is expected to produce every year sustainability report.
Okay.
And this report is kind of being dictated by Global Report Institute. That's an international organization that promotes report writing on
okay, GRI.
GRI. So the dictate is that the activities of the company are subjected to economic, social and environmental audit, to the extent that after each year, the company is expected to produce a sustainability report.
Okay.
The sustainability report will show the effect of the activities of the company in relation to economic indicators like profit, like dividends, like return on investment. It will also impact on environmental indicators like issues of pollution, wastages, and reusing of materials, and of course social indicators, which has to do with employment and so on and so forth, welfare of staff and so on and so forth. So it's a quantitative measurement of the activities of the company in relation to all those indicators, and it's supposed to be done every year. And one good thing about it is that the experts that produce such reports are chartered secretaries and administrators.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. At this point, we need to go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue with the conversation with Mr. DELE TOGUNDE. Please don't go away.
Corporate Governance Platform, a program from the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, is now at your doorstep.
By the way, what is corporate governance and what are its key pillars?
Will there be any conflict of interest if a person combines the roles of a chairman and a chief executive officer in a corporate organization?
What can Nigeria do to gain international recognition in the context of the application of corporate governance?
These and many more questions will be answered on
Corporate Governance Platform, a program designed to inform and educate our numerous viewers on the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities.
Join the Corporate Governance Platform coup every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. on MITV, your talent station, via DSTV 255 and UHF 43.
Corporate Governance Platform, your strategy for the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities. Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
You are welcome back. It's the Corporate Governance Platform, proudly brought to you by ICSAN, the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. We are discussing sustainability for corporate success, and I see here with me in the studio Mr. DELE TOGUNDE, FCIS. Mr. TOGUNDE, I would like to ask, what's the connection between the concept of sustainability and corporate social responsibility?
Well, sustainability entails effective use of human and material resources, which centered on reduction of wastages and all that. Is the origin of corporate social responsibility, because it is the assessment of all those factors, economic factors, social factors, environmental factors, that will now push up the need for corporate social responsibilities. And organizations do that to measure their activities in that area to the extent that it will dictate to them what they will do when corporate social responsibility is being confirmed. Like it's a egg and chicken thing.
Okay, one comes before the other.
One comes before the other.
So in this case, before you can have a fantastic corporate social responsibilities, you must have engaged in sustainability.
Assessment and measurement.
Oh, wonderful. Now, what steps should the company take to eradicate corruption in its operations, notwithstanding what it could deprive the company of in terms of business opportunities?
Simply put, every business that wants to succeed must imbibe the principles of corporate governance, which has to do with integrity, openness, transparency, equity, to the extent that, I mean, all the details of corporate governance principles, they are very, very accountability, they are very relevant for this kind of venture.
So once we have that,
when you have that, when you have transparency, you have accountability, you are responsible, it's open, you are fair, and so on and so forth. at the end of the day, it will reduce corruption and to the barest minimum. That's so corporate governance is very, very key and very, very important for organizations.
Okay, in what ways will the conscious efforts by a company to create opportunities for physically challenged persons contribute to sustainability?
Well, part of the tripod on which sustainability stands is social engagement. It is compulsory for every business to make sure that they practice, they do their corporate sustainability audit to the extent that disabled persons, it is diversity of employment comes in, and then not only do you have to make sure that you protect the interests of disabled people, you also make sure that there's no discrimination against them.
Okay.
To the extent that they will, in a workplace or in any environment, they will be discriminated against. No. So sustainability makes sure that you consider their interests and make sure that racial, social, and every other discrimination is not practiced against them.
Okay. That's the area of social equity that you mentioned as part of the tripod.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Now, I want to talk about external stakeholders. Why are external stakeholders required to be considered by a company when taking business decisions? When they have no investment in such business, why do we consider the external stakeholders?
You see, the world is a globe, and when you are taking decision in your organization, you may tailor it towards a particular segment of the society, but you don't forget that it's just, even by extension into the process management theory, every system is a subsystem of a super system. You have tendency of expansion. The people that are not stakeholders today will be stakeholders tomorrow.
Okay.
And any organization that doesn't put into consideration the totality of external stakeholders will not succeed. It is on record that every organization that takes care of external stakeholders succeed, and they multiply their prosperity.
So external stakeholders are also very relevant in decision making.
They are very, very important.
Okay. Can a company rely on payment of taxes to the government, other social investment it has made, mismanagement by leaders of disadvantaged areas? Can they rely on this thing that they have done to, the mismanagement of areas that are delicate when it comes to ecology? You understand it? Can company relies on what they have done in those areas to conduct their business without regard to impacts on environment?
The companies, there's nothing too much about sustainability. When companies engage in sustainability and even corporate social corporate social responsibility, every company has both obligation to the society, to the government, and to other stakeholders. The idea of tax holidays and all these things is not enough to satisfy all those requirements. Whatever they did is not enough to sustain them. The idea of being a good business is no longer relevant these days. You have to engage in serious human consideration when you are doing everything you are doing.
Human consideration and environmental consideration.
Yes.
Okay. As a champion of corporate governance in Nigeria, you have been in this for a long time. I call you a champion of corporate governance, especially the institute, ICSAN. To what extent will you say that organizations are committed to sustainability principles in Nigeria?
Did I hear you say champion? I will call us experts. That is what we profess.
Okay.
That's corporate governance.
Okay.
And with the advent of 2018 code,
Okay.
which stipulates compliance with sustainability provisions, more and more companies are compelled to buy into it. And on the side of the institute, there's something we call Corporate Governance Index.
Okay.
The institute, albeit randomly, every year when we have an annual conference, we give prizes to sustainability and corporate governance compliance organizations.
Oh, wonderful.
It's a kind of
Wonderful.
audit before we arrive at that. So with the effort of the code, with the effort of the institute, I mean, more and more consciousness are being built into corporate social responsibility and sustainability.
Okay, that is beautiful, and it's good to hear that. Now, what is the advice of ICSAN on how professionals can, take advantage of sustainability and be relevant in the operations of the organizations?
Well, I've told you, that is, corporate governance is our heaven.
Okay.
And we do it in a way, that's what belongs to us, and that's where we are. But going to your question, the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators is where to go. For example, let me give you how they even practice sustainability in that wise.
Okay.
We have mounted a lot of certification programs, like corporate governance audit, like board evaluation, which is a customized training and robust training, as is robust training base within the institute, which we are clamoring that professionals, administrators, organizations should buy into in order to sustain what we are actually talking about.
Thank you very much. That's our offering for today, and this is where we wrap it up. Mr. DELE Togunde, FCIS, thank you very much for coming on the show. I actually enjoyed the conversation, and I hope our viewers also enjoyed the conversation. Thank you very much for being with us on Corporate Governance Platform. We wrap it up here. Please join us again next week, same station, same time. I remain your anchorman, Tunde Odeyemi. Bye for now.
Corporate Governance Platform, a program from the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, is now at your doorstep.
By the way, what is corporate governance and what are its key pillars?
Will there be any conflict of interest if a person combines the roles of a chairman and a chief executive officer in a corporate organization?
What can Nigeria do to gain international recognition in the context of the application of corporate governance?
These and many more questions will be answered on
Corporate Governance Platform, a program designed to inform and educate our numerous viewers on the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities.
Join the Corporate Governance Platform crew every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. on MITV.